Oh shit!
Damn.
Oh my god.
God.
Whoa!
Damn!
Comics Plus, what is going on? My name is Akasan.
What's up, Cedric Cruz? Me, DC-san. Good to see you again.
Hey, and this is very unique today, guys. The world's finest is doing
Right?
damn thing here. We haven't done this in quite a while. Batman and Superman, or Superman and Batman. This time, I put him on the left side.
I miss it.
Huh? You miss it?
I miss it. You know, don't get me wrong. I like our groups and stuff, but it's also nice when it's the original home team.
This is true. I mean, you know, we just add in Callie, and then we got the Trinity there, but that'll never happen.
Right?
We're better off
for a special episode.
We're better off finding a Stargirl at this point. Or no, not Star. Who did if not Wonder Woman? Who's the other one from Titans and
Donna Troy?
Diana, what?
Donna Troy.
Donna Troy. There you go.
You can go in two directions. You can go Donna Troy, or you can go in the storyline where Wonder Woman has her twin sister. What does
Donna Troy call herself then?
Wonder Woman.
Star.
When
right.
When no. So for a short period, Wonder Girl.
Right.
She basically took the moniker of Wonder Woman when Diana Prince stepped down, which was never a good idea. Or she has the evil or the stronger, darker version of her character is called Troya.
Yeah,
she's badass.
Yeah. So I put DC Sun on the other side this time because it actually looks like I'm looking at him, so I kind of like that. So that's the only reason I'm not leading, not today. But yeah, I remember back in the day we used to do the whole. It was just me, you, and the Flash. Used to be good.
Yeah, when television was good
must
for
see TV, yeah. But before pre-corona, little did we know that we would be so distant, so close, yet have to do everything online at this point. Yeah, right. Yeah. But it is what it is. Actually, the last time I think you came over here to do a video was The Mandalorian, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's right. We actually had our Mandalorian armor on and everything.
Yeah,
it's funny because I just pulled that bag out earlier this morning looking for something else because I have an idea for a costume. I'm like, wait, Kawasaki Halloween has been canceled. They're going virtual this year. So
are they?
Never mind. Yeah,
that's
such a letdown, man. I'm like, that's the one thing I was looking forward to.
Yep, I am disappointed because I think this year Halloween was going to be on a Sunday, I believe, or Saturday or something like that. And I'm like, I was so getting ready for this. But you know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, these circumstances happen, and we have to
Saturday.
Yeah, which sucks. So well.
Yeah,
but you know,
perfect.
But at least we got content like this. At least The Boys is coming out. At least we're getting The Boys. Yeah. We're getting a lot of stuff on Netflix and Amazon, Umbrella Academy, and all of that. You can check on Patreon as well.
Yes.
But there was something else
to watch a horror movie, if not every day, at least once, maybe twice a week, until Halloween. I basically want to spend October in Halloween thing from day one.
You should do the Annabelle challenge then. Yeah.
The what?
The Annabelle challenge or whatever that fucking thing with the puppet is or whatever. Like,
didn't know that was a challenge. I'll try it. Sure. What's up?
No, like I literally saw there's like, because I think there's like 9 movies of the same universe.
Yeah.
And like,
so yeah. Was it?
I don't need to know. Like, but I'm just letting you know that could be something you could do. Like, I'm not watching that shit.
Yeah, I'll do it. Why not? Don't be scared.
No. The closest I'm gonna get to some sort of Halloween type of movie is gonna be fucking Bright. Not Bright. Was it called Bright? Wait.
Brightburn.
Brightburn. Thank you. Yeah, Brightburn, like Homelander's son and shit. That's the closest I'm gonna get.
You haven't seen it?
Nah, haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen not Once in a Quiet Place. A Quiet Place. I haven't seen that yet because the subtitles are off. because
That's
it's in.
right.
So me and the missus, we sat down to watch it, but then they start doing fucking sign language, and we got to choose either between English or Japanese. It was like, yeah, we're like, yeah, okay, this isn't gonna work out. We same problem with Parasite as well. So or A Train to
Parasite,
Busan,
it was in Korean or
Korean.
Japanese.
So you have to choose either English or Japanese. It's annoying. Anyways, getting back to The Boys here, we were talking about it. We've been doing this all week. I'm like I literally had a dream, I guess, or vision that Homelander kicked out A-Train of the seven, and then he proceeded to go and have sex with our local racist Stormfront, and they were fucking and like going through walls and shit, and
they were having rough, quote unquote, rough sex, so using their powers, breaking stuff up,
something like that, which is actually really funny from the reminds me of another comic called The Pro. Have you ever read that, The Pro?
No.
You might like it. It's really
the Clive Owen movie with him and Monica Bellucci?
No, no. It's essentially, it's very similar actually. Garth, Warren Ellis might have wrote this, or Garth Ennis might have wrote this story because it's within the same world, like the same kind of like Boys feeling, where essentially a prostitute, a single mom, I believe, ends up getting some kind of powers similar to like heightened flight or what, strength or whatever, and she ends up kind of joining the Seven or the Justice League, but she's too rough because she literally rips a titty that's silicone out of one woman and pisses on her in front of all these kids. She's takes a shit on her, but the Superman person of that world ends up saving her son, and so she's like, okay, well, I used to turn tricks back in the day, so look, let me just blow you because you saved my son. And that dude Superman, he busted, his nut is so potent it shoots down a plane.
Damn.
It's a pretty good comic, actually. I'm almost wanted.
It sounds like the fan joke about a lot of the superheroes, because people are like, well, if Superman is having sex, he can blow the back out of anybody, especially human, because that's why humans can't get pregnant, because the DNA doesn't match up. So he's got to make a special formula and all that kind of stuff for Lois to get pregnant. I'm like,
it is actually.
I never thought about that. That's weird.
It is actually written by Garth Ennis, actually. So, and the exact same dude that wrote The Boys, which is so crazy.
Maybe that was his first iteration, and then moved on.
I was kind of thinking, I was kind of thinking about it because the art almost looks exactly the same as well. But yeah, I would definitely, I recommend checking out the
spinoff series.
Maybe we're gonna get that on Amazon Prime, or no, Netflix is gonna put that on. Somebody's gonna have to.
They'll put it on.
I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I wouldn't mind getting the Pro adapted within the Boys universe or something like that. Homelander. That's literally what I thought when Homelander was getting sucked off from Madeline or in the first season. I was like, I was like, yo, she better duck.
Better she leans back and puts a helmet on that's been special made just in case.
There's only one other thing that I think I'm curious about episode. The next episode is we kind of glanced over it last episode, was the whole deal with the cult, the Deep,
the church,
right? The Deep basically was interfering, or was able to figure out where the boys were, and it was kind of, they asked them the question like, wait, how do you even know this? How did you get this information before we did? Right. And so I'm kind of curious if this church is behind the scenes, what behind actions behind the scenes are they doing? And then on top of that, are they somewhat similar to the cult in Korea that was going around spreading the coronavirus around South Korea. Like, is it one of those things where they're actually out there trying to upset the establishment as well? So
yeah, because that's
I'm a
not
little
cool.
curious. Right, I'm a little bit curious about that.
When you say that, yeah, because I'm thinking about it, it's like, okay, so does he still have like his login and stuff like that to satellites from when he was in the 7?
Oh,
So that's how he was able to find that stuff out. But knowing how Vought works, they probably locked him out almost immediately. So it's like, okay, that takes that off. But you notice that Max, yeah, it does. Max, he had basically what happened to the NYPD on his, I guess it was an iPad or whatever the device was. He's looking at the actual video. True. It's like, well, how did he get it so soon? True. So because that was pretty much real time. He had it, and so did the undercover agent.
Right.
So
as far as I know, well, as far as I know, though, he was like the beginning of the season 2, he was up here like talking shit to the president right in his fucking face, the president of the United States.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, so I wouldn't put it past that he has all of that already. Like, yeah, he's deep.
Yeah, he's got all that information. But thing is, it's like we're looking at what had happened. He has connections for that because basically he has the supers. All right, that's fine. I don't have a problem with him having it, but he has it. The agent that's working with Billy, she found out, and it's like almost like she found through a phone call as opposed to actual video.
Not Madeline. Marv. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's showing that Vought has more power than she does, also. But yeah, the Deep doesn't have it. So the church, cult, they're deep in pockets, and they've got people everywhere.
Oh, no, definitely. But yeah, and I definitely wouldn't think that any of the 7 actually are that detailed about anything. Like, they don't have access to any of that stuff. Like, because
the stuff they get is what Vought lets them have access to.
Exactly, because like A-Train put it out there. He's like, look, we don't get any. We don't get any legal, like, all that stuff has to basically be set up for them before they actually take action like that. So they're not really a superhero team. I mean,
I would love to see Eagle though.
The what?
Eagle. The one they introduced the Deep to the church and basically saved him.
You're talking about the archer dude.
I want to see, even if it's just a scene, I want to see what he can do, if anything, or is it basically more in passing where, yeah, he's just a dude with a bow and arrow, kind of like Arrow, but he's got no power. I mean, and that's fine. I don't care, but it'd be cool to kind of see, just because I miss Arrow.
What if somebody,
like out of all the shows, I miss Arrow so much.
I am wondering if at one point does somebody from the MCU or DC pop up as a new character, but everybody will be just like I would lose my mind if Robert Downey Jr. is actually Tech-9 like that, or the Tech Knight or something like, or if Michael Keaton was Tech-Knight or something like that. That would be fucking wild.
They have Alfred as Tech-9. That'd just be funny.
that would be hella funny. And by the way, so the guy you were talking about, I'm looking it up right now as we're talking, but there's a dude you were saying he looks like Wolverine, right? And
so in the picture it's like he looks like Wolverine, and it's like that's not what is it, Black Noir with a different helmet.
So that dude
Black Noir is on the opposite side.
Right. So that dude is basically Mr. I can't share it because it's like all super violent. It's Mr. Marathon. Mr. Marathon.
Mr. Marathon?
Yeah, his name is Mr. Marathon. So I thought that was kind of cool, the fact that they had that little nod to the comics. But Mr. Marathon was briefly in the 7 for just a little bit of time. But in the comics, Mr. Marathon was eliminated during the entire plane debacle situation. So
okay. He was on the plane to potentially save the people he couldn't, and Homelander left him to die.
Yeah, actually. Was that me?
Because I could see that.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
that was me. I turned the AC off. Feet got cold.
Yeah, everybody was flying out the plane. This Mr. Marathon essentially couldn't fly, so he was on the back of fucking Homelander. Then Homelander clips the plane. He kind of pulls a Superman essentially by clipping the plane's wings, right? But while he does that, he ends up decapitating Mr. Marathon. So it's pretty fucking brutal. Like I am always
really
amazed.
gotta read this.
You really do, because I am always amazed at the story beats that they pick up from the comic, but modernize it in a way that it makes a little more sense, because you know, that whole plane situation was 9/11. No, it was pre 9/11, and the whole idea was like terrorists were taking over the plane, which is still the same thing, but in this case the Seven really wanted to make a show, so they intercepted the military that was going to shoot the plane down, and they were just like, "Yo, we want to show that superheroes can do this," and they fucked it all up like completely, and essentially the same result, but just a little differently. And Homelander was more or less like more diabolical in the TV show, where in the comic he was just more like bumbling through it and like, what the fuck? But Vought covered all that up. So it's very interesting, because to seeing how Vought is more of a player. I mean, I'm sorry, Homelander is more of a cerebral player in this show compared to the comics, and specifically now with our favorite racist Stormfront full center, how Homelander's persona and ego is going to be affected from this. So let's find out. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Full reaction is available on Patreon, guys. Thank you for sticking with us, supporting the channel, supporting the site, and we now leave you with the next episode and reaction to season 2, episode 4 of The Boys. Starts now.
59 people dead.
Black people dead.
Yeah, that's right. Because she almost leveled the building. Interesting how Kumiko's reverted to how she was when they found her.
Yeah. And Frenchie has to be high to talk to her.
You're high. Go ahead. Kiss her. You know you want to. She gonna smack you.
What the fuck is wrong with this dude?
Because he's in love with her.
Yeah, I get that, but
he's high. So he doesn't realize he's being a complete dumbass.
Yeah, kissing a grieving. Oh my god.
Well, you know, people grieve differently.
There you are.
Whoa.
Oh, never mind. This is Stormfront's house. Oh, wait.
No? Huh?
It is?
Yeah. I'm beginning to worry.
With Mel.
Wait a second. This is like a memory?
Yeah. This is fucking bro.
This season is all about milk, man. Okay, but seriously, how is that happening?
We're gonna find out.
Liberty.
Oh.
Get Marvin to talk.
There's an address on the back.
Address on the back, North Carolina.
See? From last episode.
I hope she doesn't die.
Me too. Because it seems like anyone with morals in here, outside of Huey, just doesn't survive. Yep. She's a ghost.
What now that media whore is the face of
remember there was a shapeshifter in season 1.
Oh, that would be really creepy. So use the shapeshifter at the house, and this is the real one.
No. Nah, definitely not that.
This one is the shapeshifter.
You watered and fed them.
I did.
Yes, and if they
oh god.
Oh.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Change back. I'm sorry. I can only hold a shape for so long.
Oh.
I told you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So that also means that Doppelganger knows all that stuff about him. That adds a whole new dynamic of bros.
So fucking weird, right?
That shows just how far he's mentally broken.
I'm surprised we haven't really got into Mother's Milk's origin.
Right?
You don't want to know. Yeah.
Really?
Oh boy.
They've filled out her character in this season.
The fuck?
They're about to throw down?
Wow.
No.
Nice.
Damn. He
that
snapped.
Is wild.
It is.
Oh,
but I
shit.
like that she was able to hold her ground like that.
And no pulses. Yeah.
Would you like an almond joy?
I get it. Clean up. Let's clean this place up. Oh, never mind.
It's funny how he says nothing, but
right, you know exactly what he's saying. You understand him completely. Oh boy. Yo, this is the dumbest shit.
Yeah, I don't understand why she's not in like a hat or something else.
Not even that. Just send somebody else. Like, this is dumb. I'm so nervous for them.
Yeah, so am I.
I can't.
Oh.
I can't do this anymore.
I'm something's off, man.
That's funny.
Even her standing.
I'm with Mother's Milk.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Boy. Oh no.
He's being replaced by him.
Yeah.
And gratitude is going to be off the charts.
Oh, this is.
She's so full of shit. Yeah.
I do want you to know, though, this was really hard for me. Okay? It's nothing personal. We'll always be friends. And,
what the fuck?
He's giving him the corporate brush off. Damn.
But remember, season 1, they both are in some deep shit as well. Like, A-Train was literally like running drugs for Homelander on the side and killed his girl on Homelander's will. So,
yep.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. This shit is so weird.
Something feels super off. Like, something bad's gonna happen.
Oh God! Oh God!
Really?
When you will never let them go.
Oh, I think these are interviews.
These are the
for
victims.
cult.
Do you think they're victims of the deep or
no? I'm saying this is a what do you call it when you interview people for you check them out for verify them or whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, those are members joining the cult, probably.
You thought a kiss would make her feel better, or you feel better?
Right. Dante, how do you think he got his nickname, Mother's Milk? Wild guess.
He was a mama's boy. I'm hoping it's not something dealing with the extreme in the opposite direction, like something happened, he was raped and beaten or something, because that, it's the boys, so can't put it past them to do something horrible like that.
You just carry these around with you?
Damn right.
Oh shit!
Damn. And now she's got to help because she's a hero.
Right.
Can't just stand by and watch.
Learning
that's
from
a horrible situation. Yeah, that's a horrible situation for her to be in too, because I can understand her wanting to help.
She really does that worried look really well.
Yeah.
That's interesting how so when we saw her driving off a few episodes back to get on the phone, she was actually on the edge of the fucking property, it seems.
Yeah.
Bunking with MM. Naturally.
Good choice.
That's good. That's good. You know you're going to sneak.
But see how everything is neatly put there and in order?
It's kind of OCD like that, yeah.
Nobody likes almond joy.
I guess they're the sponsor for this episode, because that's the second time for almond joys.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I feel like something bad's going to happen because things are a little too
there you go.
and lovey-dovey.
Hello.
It's like,
ooh.
Any of those two are going to, because,
they've did it before.
No, I mean, like, all that teen angst build-up was just like, just do it and get it out the way. That's kind of cool.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right.
On the bridge, really?
Hey, you got to, when you got to go, you got to go. This might be the chillest episode I've seen. Which
makes me worry.
Yeah, right. Like, some fucked up shit's really going to happen. I noticed this episode is really about relationships. Frenchie and the female, Frenchie and whatever homegirl was.
Kumiko?
No. Well, the female, but the other one.
Yeah. So I thought you meant Frenchie and the French girl and Frenchie and Kumiko, how he's dealing with that relationship.
Yeah.
Them, Homelander feeling like he's alone, losing power, so he's got to rebuild.
And then
A-Train losing the relationship of the seven because he's basically being kicked out like the deep.
Weddings, bar mitzvahs.
I just saw that fly again.
Yeah.
That ongoing rumor.
Let him get away with it.
I wonder if the truth comes out. Yep.
I'm hoping so.
You see that doubt in her mind? Or tell the truth. No.
Yeah.
I know.
No, she's got to sit in the guilt first.
She's hiding some shit, man.
Yeah.
She always tells the truth.
And we're grateful.
Oh boy.
Oh
every
no.
day. Let's talk hashtag Heroes So White.
What?
The numbers are rather startling.
What?
For example, we've got A-Train. He's a black man. We got Black Noir.
Did he really just fucking pull that shit?
We have a gay hero.
No, black.
Really? Who in the
Here we go.
Maeve here is a
Like,
strong, proud
oops.
lesbian with a beautiful girlfriend. Really happy for you.
You don't sound happy.
No, because
What?
he
Fuck, man.
may have already killed her.
Oh boy. Don't do it, Kumiko. You're gonna be blamed. That's the next super villain.
Yeah, she's not going to.
Was a lawyer.
That
Long time.
new story.
Smart. Wake up the next morning, he'd still be hammering away.
Oh, that's cool. Comics accurate.
All night.
I think he died though.
I am a hero for killing a black piece of shit like you.
Oh!
She was Lady Liberty.
Whoa!
Damn!
$2,000.
That's it.
That's liberty.
Oh, I knew it was Stormfront. Yep. Wow.
Damn. That's deep.
Right? Because it did sound like Stormfront.
Yeah, didn't see that coming.
Can't even see
Damn.
the reputation. What the fuck?
These memes are funny.
And actually accurate. Those are real memes too.
Love me.
You better hope she's not recording, bro.
Yay.
Wow.
You have fans. I have soldiers.
No, she's about to bring him over to her side.
He's a fucking suit freak.
Ooh.
You were wrong about me. Do you know that?
Oh boy, here we go.
Also shows how much she cares and how strong she is. Being raped obviously isn't something that's easy for anybody, and she goes to the people that created him for help. That's desperation. Common sense. There's no way she's going to leave her son, even if he is got Homelander's blood. He also has hers. Yet they're idiots standing out in the open like this, especially right next to her poster. Homelander lost his crew. Billy lost his wife. Huey's losing his girlfriend. This isn't going to be good for anybody.
But I'm also very
Oh.
sexual.
Yikes. Yeah, they're trying to find... Ew.
You do.
Matchmaking.
I was beginning to worry.
You think Homelander's gonna kill her? Him, her, it, whatever.
So he can get his power back? It'd be nice. Well, not for the guy that dies, but yeah.
Ew! Are you serious? Is he literally gonna go fuck himself?
That, you know, you joke, but...
So fucking hard. It's not even gay if it's with yourself.
He's just in love with himself. Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is so weird he's talking to himself like that.
Need you.
Oh, does it revert back or no? Damn, that's messed up.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
I have so many questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Woo! And there you have it, folks. That was the latest episode of The Boys. Homelander was just about to go fuck himself, but wow. Okay.
Right.
Wow. That was a weird one. That was
Homelander, milk, and sexual tones just feels off. Like,
it was weird because I feel in this particular episode we got a lot of exposition and we got a lot of development, but all that did was actually make problems worse. Yeah. Like make things actually worse. It's weird. Like it feels like everybody really got in touch with their feelings on this one. and
Yeah,
really
because they've been battling and
right,
running and chasing each other to the point
right,
where it's like this is the first time they have a beat, they have a moment to take a beat and actually
yeah,
deal with what's going on,
yeah.
try and deal with what's coming up. And then also it's like all this has happened and I didn't see what was right in front of my face.
Yeah. No, no, that's exactly a good way of looking at it. It was like self-reflection time.
Yeah.
And I think, as we said, this was really relation-based sort of story between everybody. Anybody involved in the story was dealing with their own relationships, but it was, at the same time, everybody was basically putting themselves or their relationship on the table and or out in the open. And I don't think anybody got, and there was no happy ending for anybody on this one.
No.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Now that I think, yeah. Nobody had any sort of happy ending or any, maybe possibly Queen Maeve, possibly if Homegirl is still alive, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm like, there's a part of me that feels like no, because of the way that he smiled at her.
Right.
It feels like there's something behind it, and she'll find out when she goes to see her. Because you know, when she talks about previous relationships, people that have just come into passing with her, like she didn't have any relationship with them, they died brutally.
Torso in one room and body in the other.
Head in the other. Yeah. So it's like, what do you think he did with her girlfriend? So I'm like,
it's
and she was already in the hospital, so I mean, he could have easily killed her there and made it look like an accident, or made it look she died in the hospital as a cover. I mean, all kinds of stuff. But
so the most interesting I think I want to save the Billy and Mrs. Butcher,
his wife.
I want to save that for the end, but
okay.
But because I think everything else is pretty much kind of self-explanatory, or like it's just certain questions. So there's a whole Lady Liberty situation, and so Lady Liberty somehow, some way becomes Stormfront, who is now like a not necessarily a neo-Nazi, but essentially what we have today, which is the right wing. Yeah, she's a right wing activist. I wouldn't even say conservative, just like an activist, right wing activist or whatever, right wing terrorist or something like that. And so it's interesting to see that how she's looking at Homelander the same way, because you know, I start when thinking about it. She basically used to be a Homelander in training with the whole Captain America, all about the USA or whatever, right? But her version of the USA was changing, you know, make America great again.
Had to change. She had to change with the times, not just to stay relevant, but also to, you know, have a say in what happens. And, you know, she makes a very good point in, you know, you don't need 51 million people to love you. You know, I've got, you have, say, 51 million fans. I've got 5 million soldiers. And that's a big difference, because having all those fans, there's nothing they could do against soldiers. And those soldiers will do anything she wants. What I find interesting about that is the way that she killed Kumiko's brother, and how I was talking about how she's definitely not what people think. I'm wondering if her soldiers are another flip on the head would be a mix of different people, not just, you know, the
that'd be weird,
blatant image of being just white or just this demographic, where it's actually a mix of people, and it's a mix of people because they'll do what she says, as opposed to she just wants one brand of person. That's another way that they could actually take her character and really flip it on its head, because okay, well then what was all that back here? You know, you did this and called him a yellow bastard and all that kind of stuff, and racist themes or whatever, but then on the other side you didn't go that way, and that would really confuse the audience. But my thing with her is, with her power, okay, she's the same person, which is even creepier, or like she's the same person. She doesn't necessarily have to be immortal, but she could be very much like Superman. She ages differently, like she ages differently like he does, which Starlight mentions in the car. so she doesn't age the same. Or she could just be the daughter of, because that also happens. You have people that have
Right.
kids that look exactly like them. It could be. But I think
Right.
that it really is her, especially when she makes the statement of changing with the times.
My right.
So
My guess is that it's a sort of like Palpatine life drain type situation.
So she's using lightning, but that lightning is actually
Can also
fueling her life force.
Right.
Like she pulls it from people when she kills people
Exactly.
with it. She gets their life force. That's an interesting power. That's
Right.
creepy.
Because
And
I keep on thinking
that
about
also
Palpatine.
shows
Yeah.
that she could potentially be just as, if not more powerful than Homelander, because then she'd be like the Parasite
Correct.
character, where
Correct.
she could take his.
Because if you think about it, Parasite was also
that's
purple,
an
right?
interesting
Right.
dynamic. Yeah.
Parasite was purple, and that same very similar colors to the way her lightning comes out. And I really just think about Palpatine and the whole force drain type of thing, and they're like, unlimited power, like that.
Yeah.
So
And they usually use purple for villains or characters that are very much right in.
If I remember, even Harry Potter, what was his name? The Voldemort. Voldemort. Didn't he also like drain people's life and shit? Or
he drained people's life.
Yeah. So,
but yeah.
Okay.
All
now, what was the other thing? Oh, so A-Train's getting replaced. They really didn't do much. Like, I'm a little surprised because it's weird to me that it wasn't brought up, but A-Train has a lot of dirt on Homelander, and I'm actually very surprised.
Which is why he didn't have many scenes in this. Not just didn't make a fuss, but he didn't have so many scenes in this episode because what he's got on people, what he's done is deep on the other end of the spectrum. So it's like, okay, you're going to need time to deal with that. The only way you don't deal with that is to kill him off quickly. And to kill him off quickly in this episode would have been too much.
Right.
This episode, like you mentioned, going through each different dynamics of the relationships that these people are going through or not going through. And then ending where he's like, actually, I don't need anybody.
Right.
I can do this myself.
Very interesting, right? Yeah.
Going from a somewhat of a Superman type character to an Injustice Superman to a Black Adam villain version.
Interesting.
Because he's like, I don't need anybody. I'm the most powerful.
I was going to say more about who's the one from
Ultraman.
Thank you. Yeah, Ultraman. Yeah. Their name was Criminal something. What was the name of their group? Thank you. Crime Syndicate. Yeah. And so that's what I was thinking. It was more about
Superman.
Ultraman. Yeah.
So it feels kind of like that because that's how I felt in season 1 because he had A-Train running drugs and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, you have someone taking care of these little areas of the city through crime. Yeah, the crime syndicate. That's exactly what the 7 felt like to me in season 1. Now it feels like they're a fraction
we're seeing Heart
of that.
Right.
And Justice Society is what it feels like. A broken Justice Society.
Okay. Got it. Well, you're talking about JSA, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason I don't say the Injustice Society because the person that seems like they're the worst on there is Homelander. Of course, everyone there has done something outside the law, obviously, because they're with Homelander. They don't have a choice, or they feel like they don't have a choice. But as far as characters that have definitely done wrong because they felt like it was what they wanted to do, him and A-Train. And then I break it down to Black Noir.
Right.
And then Queen Maeve.
Does the JSA get down like that though? Like in terms of like everybody has some blood in their ledger? I always saw them as like the shining example.
Yeah. No, not all of them, but there are some characters that have, had a mistake or something happened, but they actually try to make amends for it. And that's how I feel like Queen Maeve is. know, Queen Maeve was in a situation and she's trying to, you know, pay it forward by doing better. So.
It's interesting because I do feel like we're at a particular point in this particular story that, like, without reading the comic, like, it's almost okay to start talking about the comic comparisons as long as you like give spoiler warnings, because it's very specifically with Queen Maeve, it's going down really different. And there's some parts I like about it, but there's other parts I don't like about it. But
that's also why I didn't read, because I was afraid it would spoil the show.
No,
so
it's definitely
my plan
not.
was to read after this season finishes.
I see. No, you can definitely go different. You can go a completely. It's going a completely different direction, specifically with Billy and his wife, because so it's somewhat similar. But the thing is, Billy's wife died in labor. In the comics and such. So this is like an entirely
really died, not like, oh, maybe she died, like she really
she legit was split open. So
okay, and that's the thing that people were saying about if Superman, if Lois Lane or whoever he was with, someone other than a super or metahuman had his child, that it would their body.
I'm gonna tell you, because it took me actually 3 hours to actually find where it actually went down, because it actually happened in a spin-off comic that it's not even the main story. Like I read the main story and they keep on talking about it. And I'm like, yo, where is this scene?
Where is it?
I had right. So it was so what happened was, a few years ago they came out with the Billy Butcher origin story, and then it started to make more sense. So I am going to give you the kind of non-spoiler version, and this is just warning for you guys that if you want to find it on your own, by all means, just go ahead and pause it and come back later. Nona put a spoiler warning thing. So but I'm not going to spoil for those that have read the comic. There's something else that you probably want DC to find out on his own, so I'm not going to spoil that point. But essentially,
if that's the case, then after this, I'll find it on Comixology and read it.
The main story, because the main story, there's a particular big twist at the end that I've been avoiding talking about, but I'm almost 100% sure the comic is not going this the show is not going this direction. But in the main point,
which
is
character?
I can't say.
Okay, no. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I can't say. I was about to say it, but I can't say. But yeah. So particularly with the Billy situation, him and his wife, and it's very true to the story, is like Billy was crazy from the beginning, and Mrs. Butcher, Becca basically calmed him the fuck out. His dad was a piece of shit, beat his fucking mom in front, like domestic violence so bad that she had to get a fucking glass eye and shit. It was crazy. In the end, Becky was the one that calmed him down, and so that's what I like about this particular scene as well, because they get married. Or I think so, yeah. They got married, and then they went on a honeymoon and everything. And they went to they just happened to go to Florida, and that ironically is the same area where the Seven was
having like an event or something.
No. They saved some shit off the coast of Cuba or whatever, some bullshit like that. And so they were just chilling or whatever. Anyways, late at night, Billy goes out and he goes for a walk and shit. And when he comes back, something is visibly wrong, like something's wrong with Becca. And so then, Becca's entire demeanor changes and everything. So this is very similar to the show. Billy knows something is up, something happened, but he just doesn't know what it is. Then while there's one night, I think it was like a few weeks later, one night she ends up actually giving birth to Homelander's kid, like that. And
that was quick.
Yep. And literally Billy literally grabs he wakes up and there's a demonic child with red eyes floating with the umbilical cord still attached. Does the whole Superman laser thing. Billy grabs it by the fucking neck, is getting fried, beats the shit out of this fucking this baby, with a fucking your face with a fucking lamp, kills this shit, butt naked and everything. And then when he comes to, he turns around and he basically sees his wife split open, completely dead, and that was that. So then,
damn.
Yeah.
Hold up a second. I need 2 seconds. That's a lot to process. He beat the crap out of the baby, kills the baby.
Yep.
And realizes that because he's at that moment, it's fight or flight. Then he's in shock.
Yeah.
And realizes while he's in shock that his wife is basically splattered all over the wall.
Oh no, like ripped open, like think Aliens, like that, but through the vagina.
Damn.
Yeah. Like that. So so then
That's nasty.
Yep. So then very similar to the comic. See, but in the show, I'm sorry, the show version, as you know,
she survives.
No, she just disappears one day, right? And Billy doesn't know
but
what the fuck
she
happened.
survived the childbirth.
Right. But and it also goes to Vought. But see, Vought wasn't involved with this at all, because essentially it's a lot more sexual in the in the comics, and like even the big like in-game Avengers team up, they call it or Orgasmatron or something like that. It's like an annual event where they all just get together and have massive orgies.
The orgy they had in season 1.
Even worse, like an island literally where people are just fucking each other left and right. And so
Island. Got it.
Yeah. And so so essentially what happens, just like in the show, Mallory shows up to Billy, and you know, they're just like, look, Vought, because Vought tried to pay him a visit and pay him off just like in the show, and you know, like just like the black woman, $2,000 they tried to pay, and you know, Billy ends up fucking stabbing this dude in the eyes. Mallory comes up and essentially gives him a letter, a journal that Becky always had on her. Yeah. And that's where we basically find out where you know, she describes someone looking like Homelander with an eagle on his fucking shoulder pad and all that other shit, just came in, didn't say shit, and raped the fuck out of her and bounced like that. So with a hand on the neck. So
they basically use part of that in her backstory for the show, and basically with, was it Lady Liberty?
Yeah, similar.
You know,
yeah. Well,
it's like this person looks like da-da-da, and then you find out actually it was that person.
Right. Actually, yeah, you're
the dialogue in this.
No, you're right. No, actually, you're really right about that, because she didn't really know who Homelander was, because she didn't keep up with the superhero world or whatever. But then she saw a comic book of him, and she started having that PTSD, and she knew it was Homelander.
Do you know
there's other details. What? Yeah.
Knowing that he did that to Becca, how many other people you think he did that to?
That's the thing. So that's the thing. And particularly with
he's got super babies, potentially running around everywhere.
Comic book version, yes. There's something that's why I can't really
create his own army or his own family.
No, it's not even that. It's just that comic book version, superheroes are fucking unrelentless, and they're like sex fiends. It's like some crazy shit. The TV show doesn't dive into it as much, but there's things that with the comic book version, like I said, there's an entire island where they just all have this huge orgy and everybody's fucking each other. And you know, a Homelander in the comics really goes both ways. It doesn't matter. It's just a thing. Like this dude would bust a nut in like Soldier Boy's ass or whatever, and then literally right after that he flies up and kills a bunch of people in an airplane. So it's some crazy shit. But the point that I was going to make here is the fact that it legit is considered Becky says she was raped in the comics. Now in the show, so this is the thing, in the show she says she was raped, and it's probably definitely it's a sensitive thing to touch upon, but you know, based on season 1, when she comes out of that room and her face, it's hard to say because you know,
you feel like it may have been more of a consensual thing, but she used rape as a way to kind of dot it off. Like maybe she was in a sick way. She was working for Vought. Vought wanted her to do whatever, and she had to make the agreement of, okay, well, I'll have his kid if you let me do this, or
not
thing, or that
no
she kind of had a thing for him.
The way I see it is like, it was like very similar to like Harvey Weinstein type situation, or basically like she felt entrapped. So yes, it was
she felt like Starlight when Starlight first got there,
something like that. So it was like, yes, it was rape in all means of the definition, but it wasn't like a violent rape. It was she had to give in and do it. She had to take exactly, because she was just like, look, this is my company, like I don't know what to do, like, you know, one of those things where she just kind of went with it, and when it happened, and even before she didn't know it was happening until it was, you know, too late, because when she comes out and that camera, the way she kind of looks, it's not like she was like running away. She took a pause. She was like, what the fuck did I just do, type of thing.
What did I just do? And I need to fix my clothes back up, kind of thing.
Exactly. And so I think it's one of those things of like you just said earlier, she later equivalates it to straight rape. Like, you know, that's and after, when she probably looks back and reflects upon what happened, he used his position of power and essentially used it like that. But you know, so, that's the way I kind of see it. And then especially because of the fact that she was impregnated, I think it's even worse. Now, the thing I also look at here is the fact that it's like, look, if she didn't get pregnant, would she? I'm very curious how much further.
She have told Billy?
Not even that. Like, would she have been cool with it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure she cares about Billy, but at the same time, that's fucking Homelander type of deal, right? So and you know, she was already growing in the Vought company, like, you know, the deal, you know how it is with particular industries.
Happen, and it's like, well, you know, I wanted to move up in the company, so I just had to do it.
Exactly. It's like particular companies, the entertainment business, the military, a lot of that shit happens where it's like, look, whatever, as long as your husbands and wives don't find out, it's like one of those still. So there's still a part of me.
Don't tell.
Exactly. There's still a part of me in that believes that she's not being exactly forthcoming.
She's not being forthcoming with everything. Yeah, she's giving. I feel like she, you know, I don't want to discredit the fact that she could have potentially been raped, like just straight up with no extra hidden agendas or whatever. But yeah, show-wise, it feels like maybe there's something else behind it, because it's not a clean explanation.
Exactly.
And, you know, considering the age of her son, how much time has passed, by now, talking to him, it would have been a clean, straight-up conversation. It's like, look, this is what happened. I've been here. This is what I've been doing. I'm sorry you've been in so much pain.
That's what
doing these things, thinking that I was dead. That's the normal conversation you would have with a partner. Not this, oh, I want to reconnect. I've missed you so much, which I understand, not discrediting that. But then it's like, yeah, you got to go because, you know, well, I was but still love you. Okay, see you, bye. It just felt
because if you look, if you look at that conversation when Billy brings up, like, I thought you were dead, she's kind of looking to the side like, oh shit, that's what they told you. You know, I'm like, wait a second, like, you know, like
Yeah,
she didn't
that
seem
right
like
there shows
yeah.
she's not telling the full truth.
Yeah, so I feel that there's still a lot more to Becky, but my whole thing is the fact that like if she really wanted Becky gone, I mean, if she really wanted Billy gone, she could have been like, yo, just you know, that was actually consensual and he knocked me up type of deal. So I was kind of surprised that she didn't say
she
that.
could have did the tough love kind of thing. Yeah,
Right, exactly.
Like that's what I mean. Obviously, we'll hopefully find out in the next episode or 2 episodes later, because I look they may end up doing that.
Right.
But straight up, this entire episode, absolutely everything felt off.
Awkward, yeah, or just off, a little off. Starlight. Now the thing with Starlight and Huey, like again, I'm just gonna have to
tough love.
But not, but what I was gonna say, like we were complaining, how come they're not incognito the whole thing? I'm just gonna chalk it up to the fact that it's just hard to act, and for like they had so many scenes where they wanted to explore their relationship and everything. Like let's just take for example Civil War when Captain America was on the run. Like we only got a few scenes of him incognito. Same thing with Scarlett Johansson, but toward the end, it's just like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna forget that we're on the run and like show our face like that. The plot served that thing, but I figure for this particular episode, it just wouldn't have looked so well for them to have conversations with sunglasses and hats on. So that's what I'm just gonna chalk up.
You know, meeting up with each other in hat and sunglasses. All right,
I agree about that.
And then you know they go under the bridge, they take the sunglasses off, they're talking to their maybe.
Right.
And I get why it wouldn't flush or mesh with everything. Okay. So yeah, I'll chalk it up. But even outside of that, the conversations and things, everything felt off. Okay. And you know, when you get to the end of it, she's like, basically that was breakup sex because I can't continue doing this. I almost got killed. And she's like, I have to make a choice, you or me. And she chooses herself, which is, you know, heartbreaking for Huey, but at the same time, he broke her heart first. So she's like, look, I can't do this anymore. You know, this hiding and doing all this stuff, you're going to get me killed.
Yeah. And they have, well, I was going to say they have no more leverage. Like that, that Vought Compound V, that was it. That was supposed to end Vought. No, of course that didn't work. So
the only somewhat leverage they would have now would be recording Homelander, saying stuff that he's not supposed to, which both of us were sitting there thinking was happening with Stormfront. And then also, what's his name? A-Train.
Right.
You know, as it stands now, everyone around him that could, he's literally alienated himself from what he called his quote unquote Seven family. So between trying to recruit new members, being against the newest recruit, then basically putting Queen Maeve, Starlight on notice, it's like, yo, something's up. He's going to make these people go against him. So either they're all going to have to fight him towards the end, and then the remaining survivors are going to basically have to, you know, tuck the tail between their legs and come back home, or
I'm really like, but
Vought is just going to crumble by the end of the season.
I don't think we're going like I do.
Excuse me, not the 7.
Well, I kind of feel like whereas episode 1 was driving full force to something, I do feel like this episode 2, this season 2. I'm sorry, when season 1 felt like it was like really pedal to the metal type of storyline. It's like, yo, okay, we killed Translucent. We're gonna take out everybody here. Like that's what it felt like. Very similar to the comic. Whereas number 2, season 2 feels like it's actually going to be it feels like it's more of an in between to get to the point of season 3. That's my guess right now. It's like there are going to be developments, but the chess pieces are moving
that will lead up to season 3.
Season 3, yeah. I honestly feel like that's the way it's going to end up. It's like the entire Vought, the 7, there's going to be game changers, and there's going to be sides that are going to be switched, and that's going to lead up to season 3 where you're like, holy shit, I can't wait. That's the way I feel.
Looking at what you're saying, looking at the these episodes, this episode specifically, and what you just said, it's like you have the church, which hasn't fully been shown in this light from the side of a super who's not working for them from the beginning. You're looking at it as, okay, how much power do they have to do what they want to? Because it seems like a lot, to the point where it's like, this is how we're going to repair your image and get you back in the 7, because they already know what they're doing, which means they've done it before. And it's like, okay, you have the corporate side, which is basically money. And then you have the religious side, which is that church. So at one point, the money side is going to lose its value and end up having to regain value in a different way. So by the end of the season, something happens to where Vought loses its actual power and position.
That's what I'm thinking.
Even if it's temporary, that happens. And the church, we see the church basically come out and it's like, this is what you need to be doing. You need to follow us, not these blasphemers, or however they're going to put it in their storyline.
Forget Stormfront's situation as well. I feel like this is, if they're taking notes,
building up to a battle with the 3, Stormfront and her people versus potentially the church. And
so I feel like,
maybe Stormfront's part of the church.
My opinion is that I feel like there's just a lot of Trumpisms being utilized here in terms of like right wing. You have you have this loudmouth speaker who's funny on camera or whatever, but is starting to build this grassroots army from hate and what did she say? Like, people, she made a point about people want hate and aggression that's easier to use or something like that. And then
anger is easy to use.
Anger weapon or something like that, and then you have this church that's backing that, and then it's going up against the establishment type of thing, and people see that as a rebellion when that's just disguised hate as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that's all used. And let's not forget the human trafficking issue as well is still going to be a deal. I think we covered
that's right, because do you think that's the church or Vought? Because when it comes to human trafficking and stuff like that, that takes money.
Right.
That takes money. So
I think that's a side thing that Vought might be, but it might be a shadow branch of Vought still doing something.
Yeah, because that's how it feels, because that's what they would do to basically product test stuff without having to worry about the optics of it.
Exactly. And then the female thing is kind of a self-explanatory where that's going with the Frenchie and the female thing. I think we covered everybody except the only other thing is that I feel like it really will come down to Black Noir versus Billy Butcher.
Billy Butcher. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like Black Noir, we don't see him do much of anything. And when we do see him, he's basically just terrible. He just assassinating someone, and then he's just quiet.
Yep.
He's literally if Snake Eyes had Wolverine's powers.
Regenerative. So it's Black Noir is a very tricky topic to address.
Okay.
Right.
Now you don't have to. If it's going to spoil something, don't.
No,
but I feel like if Billy goes up against him, he'll have to blow his head off. Because when the other guy, what was his name? The terrorist from the beginning that he cut his head off, who basically blew up. It only took off half his head, which I'm like, why wouldn't it take all of it? But I was like, the only way he could do it, destroy the brain.
It'll be very interesting to see where they go, because the comic version of Black Noir is quite interesting.
In some aspects.
Different.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that as a yes.
Different but similar, but it looks like the show direction is completely they're going a different direction, but I can't rule it out. That's why I'm not really saying anything, because if it does come true, or
it might come back to
a huge fucking reveal. So but I don't know. It's hard to say.
Here's a question for you. Do you think now this is like far out there, all right? So deal with me. And even if you've read the comic books, fans, bear with me. Okay. You know how you have Homelander, right? And they quote unquote made his powers and all that kind of stuff. Well, you look at the scientists that made the powers that ended up coming over to the US side, right? And you have at that point in time Lady Liberty, who's in town doing her thing. Well, she got her powers from somewhere. If you really, really want to twist things up, and since she technically ages differently, she could have been the actual DNA mother for Homelander.
Oh.
Not saying that he has to inherit her powers per se, but you know, they needed because you know when you have what's her name? Becca, she gives birth to Homelander's son. You need a vessel. You need something to put it in. As possible. Or opposite side, you need sample DNA to test what works, what doesn't. You know, having someone that barely ages, who has specific powers from what you created, would be a perfect test subject to get DNA from.
Right.
Just saying. It's a far stretch, I know, but I mean, why wouldn't they do something like that? Or why wouldn't they use her?
I don't really remember clearly if
in the comic books.
Well, no, not that. I'm waiting for Lamplighter, but I don't clearly remember even Homelander's origins being explained in the comics as much. Like I don't remember. Like I think it was like a one-page deal as well with him just created in a test tube,
created in a test tube or in a lab, and then that's how it is.
I don't even remember that clearly, so I'm gonna have to go back and look and see if that was explored in more detail. Because
because I have to look at because it's like you have to get DNA from somewhere. It's not like plugging a code into the computer and there it is. It's not like a 3D printer.
Interesting.
You got to get it from something or somewhere, and it's like, oh, well, I wonder where or who they got that from. Because you know, on the father's side, I could say, okay, they use the scientist. They use his DNA because he's been testing. He's like, I know my DNA works. That's how I came up with the initial compound itself. Okay, that's fine. So who do you mix that with?
Right. Well, it's a hard one because it's a very hard one. Like it's very different in certain things, and you know, even in the comic, the boys actually have
graze over it.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like even in the comic, the boys as the team. I'm talking about Billy's team. Yeah. They're all hopped up on fucking Compound V early on. Like that's the only time they even have somewhat of a fighting chance. So
they basically take it to fight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. But it's kind of temporary. It doesn't last.
No.
Like kind of like the Netflix show. What was it?
Hour. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's in there, but it's not really there. Yeah, they're definitely not in the same league as the Seven, but they're able to take out like other suits.
Take out other people.
Yeah. So
is Mother's Milk using the power of persuasion?
No.
Okay.
I think this one. I think we can go ahead and open this one up because I don't think they're going the same route as the comics. Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure that they're
because part of me feels like he's like the Joker, where his backstory changes every time he talks to someone, and he adapts it to that situation.
Again, guys, spoiler warning. Nona, if you put up something real quick. So explanation with the comics, like the show was actually really on point. In terms of that story about his father, his
father, and him becoming OCD.
Oh, the OCD point? No, I don't remember that as much. But so again, soups are created right through Vat9 and so but his father was that whole deal. Like his father was an activist and he kept on writing letters, and he did die straight up on the typewriter and shit, and that was quite interesting. But his mother, huh? Nah,
they killed him.
No, I think he died from just overexhaustion. So, but his mother,
his mother was breastfeeding him until he was an adult.
Ah, good job. So, essentially, mother's milk.
And that's why he's so jacked.
He's super jacked. He's super strong. Again, he has heightened powers and things like that. But the problem is the only way he can stay that way is to continually breastfeed.
Drinking mother's milk.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yikes.
So, but the thing is, his mom is also like a junkie and shit. And so, literally to this day, he still needs to get like they tried to make synthetic breast milk and everything like that, but not if he doesn't.
It's not the same.
If he doesn't do it, he dies. He shrivels up and he basically dies. So like
basically he's got to drink mother's milk every X amount of days, or he loses his power in his life force.
Once a month or once every 2 months, like he goes in to the old home and the mom's just like fucking almost like like gone, and he just sucks this dried raisin titty, and he's good. So it's really interesting.
So what happens if she passes?
That's dies. What they never really addressed it, because
that
other
is
shit happens.
Just disturbing. That is a sick, twisted nursing home fetish fantasy version of True Blood.
Okay, there you go.
Because True Blood, you're dealing with synthetic blood. People, vampires don't really like it. They prefer the real thing to survive. God, this is gross. It's so gross. It's
so crazy shit. But honestly,
who thinks of this shit?
But
it's also interesting.
That is the same dude, like I said, that makes a fucking single mother prostitute a superhero as well. Yeah. So Garth Ennis has a very nihilistic world, but at the same time, he's so good at basically making fun of these establishments of what we have and whatever. So it'll be interesting.
And I throw out there to get readers to hone in on the story and basically trick them into thinking they're getting into one thing when it goes so far in the opposite direction. He's doing a really good job of that, because the way you're explaining this makes me want to read the comic book.
There you go. So it works. It's working. And the art direction is really good too. And I think that it's a very grounded approach. It's just that his stuff is sometimes needs to be modernized. So it's very dated. So I'm glad that like even the whole thing where Starlight needs to suck Homelander off instead of the Deep.
Homelander? Or you mean the Deep? Oh.
In the comics.
So in the comic book, it's Homelander.
It's Homelander, Black Noir, and A-Train.
Oh.
And he's like literally Homelander, but that was kind of the biggest thing that was the way essentially they introduced the comic of like, okay, look, this isn't the fucking Justice League. You see like Homelander with his Superman ass smile, and the next thing you know, his fucking drawers are on the fucking floor, and he's like, yo, you want to be into the 7? Well, you need to suck this dick. And he starts talking about fucking Bill Clinton, and it shit is fucking crazy. So yeah. But but it's all the comic actually, the show.
I can see how that won't go over well with the female audience.
Showrunners used Harvey Weinstein as a better example type of situation, and said that they dramatically changed the direction of the way they were going to do that scene, and so they used it instead with the Deep. So it's interesting.
I'm glad they did. That made it more interesting.
It worked much better. It worked even more interesting in the way Vought sort of changed it and still used it for their advantage. Guys, I still
feel no sympathy for the Deep.
It's all good. That's deep. Yeah. That's rough.
And thanks everybody for tuning in. Definitely check out this Patreon.
The full reaction is definitely available on Patreon. This is what happens when the world's finest gets together. It'll be a 5-minute
Yeah.
reaction or 10-minute reaction, and fucking oh my god, definitely like an hour conversation.
Yeah. Well, we did that. That way, there's more content to spread out over, you know, a week period of time.
What he said. All right, guys, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk to you on the next one and see you for the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Goodbye.